did with episode 8, we are splitting this episode up. We just hope that season 4 will be long, and this episode concept is going to be something you won't expect. So let's go. Prologue. It's sunrise. A mid-20s man wakes up in an alleyway in downtown Hawkins. He's laying by a canister. He looks wasted, but has a strange tremor. He is up, looking around, and sees a woman's body near him, gutted open. He shouts, but notices blood in his hands. He freaks out. He tries to go through a back alley to escape, climbing a ladder to break into an apartment. He washes his hands, looks at his face in fear. He isn't sure what happened. Maybe he took too much of whatever it was he took last night. Maybe he didn't do it. Wake up, Ashe. Nothing's wrong, he says. Suddenly, in the mirror, he sees a glimpse of Billy staring at him. But there is another. An image of Victor Creel, zombified and terrifying. Ashe screams, and it fades out. Episode 9, Part 1. It's sunset. Nancy awakens in the middle of nowhere. She brushes off dirt around her and she looks around. A car drives by and she tries to get a ride, but to no avail. She notices the Hawkins sign. She sighs a breath of relief and checks herself, remembering what Elle's sister did to her. She's a bit patched up, but she can't explain how she survived or got here. She makes a long walk towards town. She makes it to Maple Street, happy that she found her house. She rings the doorbell, so hopeful to see her family again. She does find it odd that there are Christmas decor and lights on. The door opens, and it's an African-American gentleman. What can I do for you? Nancy stares. Is my mom here? It looks like a party. Who's your mother? Karen? Hey, is there a Karen here? Others say no. Nancy replies, No, this is the Wheeler house. I think you're mistaken, young lady. This is the Williams house. What are you talking about? The man's wife shows up at the door, and the man asks her if she knew a Karen Wheeler, and she replies the Wheelers were the ones that sold him the house. Oh yeah, I remember that odd fellow with glasses. We bought the house from them years ago. Nancy's in disbelief. This was her home. How could this be? Yeah, the Wheelers, it was pretty sad. They lost a loved one, and so they had to move out of here. Nancy's frightened and heads on the road. We, the audience, notice an election campaign board for Clinton and Gore. Nancy thought about going to the St. Clair's, which wasn't too far away, but decides to go downtown instead. Nancy had some pocket change with her, and she takes the bus. Downtown, she looks around and finds a paper from Hawkins Post with the date December 22nd, 1992. Nancy is in shock. How could it be possible that she went over 6.5 years into the future? Nancy needs to find someone. She thought about going to the police station, but decides to phone anyone. She calls the Harringtons, and someone picks up as Mrs. Harrington. Nancy asks if she could talk to Steve. The woman tells her that he's at the video store. Nancy heads up to the plaza and finds Steve in a tie with an odd-looking haircut in the store. She rushes in and shouts at Steve. Steve turns around, is in shock. He rushes to Nancy and hugs her. I can't believe it. I can't. How is this possible? How are you here? I don't know. One minute I'm hurt, and the next I'm awakening. 6 years into the future? Steve asks her to walk with him outside. Steve, where is everyone? I went home and no one was there. Steve asks Nancy if she could calm down. He grabs a hot dog and a drink from the convenience store and gives it to her, hoping she would eat something. Sorry, Nance, I'm just in disbelief. Steve, please tell me what happened. I don't know what happened to you or how you're here. We all thought you died. What? Nance, it was back in 1986, but your family, they thought you were dead. At least your parents did. So they moved away, far away. Where, Steve? Steve sits beside her on a bench, eating the hot dog he got for her. I don't know. Where, Nance? We all made a promise, and I can't break the promise. Nance grabs the hot dog and throws it on the ground, demanding to know what happened. I can't, okay? The thing is, we all promised each other we'd go our separate ways. We had to. So much happened. You have no idea, Nance. As for Hawkins, I'm the only one left here. What about Mike? Or Jonathan? What of Jonathan? Oh, Nance. Come with me. Steve drives Nancy in his new BMW and stops by his own house. I don't know how to say this, Nance. Jonathan, he went crazy after he thought you were dead. He blamed Elle. He went nuts. He went after Dr. Brenner, and Brenner shot him. Jonathan died that day. Nancy is in tears. No, that can't be. That son of a gun, Brenner, he killed him. I'm sorry, but I can tell you, Brenner, you'll never see him again. We get a quick flashback to 1986 at the Ukraine, and Elle using her powers to destroy the time wormhole. There was a nuclear accident, Chernobyl. We get back to Steve. Nancy demands to know everything. They get into Steve's house. We learn that Steve took over the house after his father died and used some of the inheritance money to buy out the video store. Steve wants Nancy to freshen up and shower. She does, frightened, saddened about Jonathan, but remembers something happening to her when Dr. Brenner's team was taking her body away, that at that place it started to phase back and forth between the upside down and the real world. She isn't sure, but she is here now and has to live with it. Steve gets a pizza at the door and tells Nancy she needs to eat something. She sits at the dinner table. We learn that after the destruction of the time wormhole and the incident in Chernobyl, everyone managed to escape with the help of Murray, who led the way, and Dr. Owen's team, who managed to save everyone in time. Steve says, everyone except Elle. Elle didn't come back, but somehow we could feel her presence with us. I don't know how, but she promised she would return, and that friends would never lie, or whatever she says. Mike was heartbroken, but she stopped the Russians. She really saved the world from that monster, that interloper, the destroyer. She stopped it, or so we thought. When we got back, Eddie could sense Elle and the interloper. It was as if they have been in a never-ending battle. And the tragedy in all of this is that Elle is trapped with the interloper. What of Mike? Where is he? You don't have to worry, Nance. Mike is okay. We made a promise back then. Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Will, Max, and Robin. I miss Robin. They all went to find a way to save Elle. As for the rest, I don't know. Hopper left the force, Joyce moved away. I just know that whatever it is Robin and the others are doing, they'll find a way to find Elle again, and they'll be happy to see you again, just like I am. The doorbell rings, and Steve gets to the door. Boom! A shotgun blasts through Steve, making his body fly across the room. It was Robin. Nancy shouts. Robin says, "Come with me. Trust me, Nance. That's not Steve." Steve, or whatever it is, starts to laugh hysterically. Nancy is in disbelief. Robin loads her shotgun again. "Go back to where you came from," and she blasts Steve. She grabs Nancy, who freaks out. They get to Steve's car. Nancy punches out Robin. Robin grabs Nancy, holds her tight, and says, "That thing isn't Steve." She even cuts her own hand just to show her blood, to show that she's real. And that Nancy, and she even tells Nancy about her birthmark. Nancy wants to know what is going on. Robin tells her they have to go. Robin starts talking to herself in the car, and Nancy thinks she's nuts as they drive off. The camera pans to Robin, who says, "Don't worry, Elle. I'll protect her." Want to see more? Let's get to 500 subs. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching In the Plot.